Good morning. We are live on, as you can see, a wet start to our day. It is a chilly rain across the area, and it's not going to add up to much, around a quarter inch or less in most locations. It's going to be a breezy day. Some of the wind gusts could be up around 30 miles per hour. Got a cold front that's going to move through this afternoon, and then so it's warmest this morning in the 40s and dropping into the 30s later on today, and then some flurries possible later tonight. And then we'll have a batch of some snow that'll move in tomorrow night into early Friday morning. So that could produce some light accumulations briefly and maybe some slick spots for Friday morning. Now, it's going to be a sharp cutoff. That line right now looks like kind of around Paoli down to near Louisville to Lexington north, and then nothing off to the southwest. So we're going to look at that in more detail, that snow potential for tomorrow night and into early Friday. We've got some more light snow potential for late Saturday. We've got plenty to talk about, obviously, here on, again, a wet start across the area. Plus, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, we've got Brad Weddington on the program this morning from Weddington Custom Homes, a local home builder. If you have any questions about your house, maybe it's winterization, maybe it's leaky windows or a roof or a yard, gutters, whatever, water heater, caulking, whatever it is. If you have any questions for Brad, put it in the comments. We're going to put him on the hot seat here in a little bit. But we are tracking so far this morning some rain. And again, if you're new to the program, I am meteorologist Ben Peine, and this has been at 10, your weather show for Southern Indiana and Kentucky and beyond. Every day at 10 a.m., Monday through Friday, we like to start off with the current conditions, your forecast right off the bat. Then we're going to spend a longer time on your detailed forecast, weather jokes again today, weather history. Always got our little weather countdown. And then we'll dig into the weather model data. We'll look at the snow potential after today's rain and some breezy rain out there for today. Also, if you're watching live, thank you. If you're watching the replay, drop in the comments as well. Let us know where you're watching from as well. So again, we've got this batch of rain moving in. The roads are wet out there. It's mostly just kind of a light and steady rainfall, as you can see, that's been dropping in from the northwest today. Now, once this steady batch moves out later this morning and into the afternoon, we're going to be left with these spotty sprinkles and just kind of a nuisance drizzle every now and again this afternoon. And then up to the north, notice a little bit of snow flying up around Chicago. As that colder air drops in tonight, we'll likely have some flurries. I don't think the flurries will cause any problem as they float around overnight and into tomorrow morning. Again, it's going to be tomorrow night into early Friday when we have the chance for some light snowfall accumulations over parts of the area, especially southern Indiana and into areas in Kentucky north of I-64. Again, we'll detail this in a lot more detail here in just a second. Cheers to you guys popping on in the comments. We'll get a check of the comments, look at the forecast, and roll on this hump day, December the 10th. We've got Big Happy, but I think I'm going to look on Amazon and see if we can find a Big Frowny for days like this. Well, let's be honest. We're not always big. We're not always Big Happy. All right. Well, we've got Beverly Haggis from Borden, Indiana. Good morning, Beverly. Thanks for popping in. Christian Walker, good morning to you with the countdown of only 22 days until New Year's in 2026. Sarah Humphreys, good morning. Thanks for joining us. And Laura DeVore with a GM, a good morning. Mary Dale, good morning. I hear good, the bad, and the ugly. Not much good, in my opinion, unless you like snow. We've got more of that on the way. And Christian, you've got a little snow chance as well for early Friday. I got just some sprinkles there in Campbellsville this morning. Yeah, but, you're going to have some steady light rain moving in over the next couple of hours there, Sarah. And we'll check a look at the radar once again here in just a second. Got a good Wednesday morning from Orlean Whitlow with the drizzle of 44. Good point there. Thanks for that temperature because it is in the 40s this morning. That is the warmest it's going to be today as temperatures drop behind this cold front later on this afternoon. So it is going to get chillier later on today. Christian, take it easy. Fourth cup of coffee. Now, this is my second cup of coffee, but to be honest, they're about the size of 2 cups per cup. So I'm kind of around 2-ish, 3-ish. But Lillian Lasley, good morning. 43 degrees at the house. And Erica Risotto from Charlestown with a good morning as well. So thank you guys for tuning in here, and we're going to get rocking and rolling in just a couple seconds. And again, if you're just tuning in, we've got Brad Weddington from Weddington Custom Homes. And you can see his contact information at the bottom, weddingtoncustomhomes.com. And then also you can find him on Instagram, Weddington Custom Homes. If you have any questions for him, drop them in the comments. We like the interaction. We like when you put him to the test. Laura DeVore, feels colder than the 40s. Yeah, it is breezy out there with the moisture in the air. You guys know by now, this is my least favorite weather, which is cold rain. Rather have the snow. We got the drizzle in Meade County with Laura Day. Thanks for that report. And we got a morning from Keith Hennessy. Thanks, Keith, for that. For the joining us this morning. And here is a look at Mr. Brad Weddington, again, that we'll be talking to here in just a second. Christian's just got light winds, but we are going to be pretty blustery out there for today. I want to remind you, too, here that NWSB for 5 more days has their food drive. So if you want to help out in the season of giving, you can give non-perishable items, canned food, dry cereals, things like that, to any NWSB branch. Don't have to be a member there, but to drop that off and help out REACH, a food program for kids. And 2 more days, the Angel Tree program continues at Ivy Tech Community College, Sellersburg campus, right at Fowl Hall. Right when you drive in, you would drive right toward Fowl Hall. And you just take one of these tags, and you got a couple more days where you drop these items off to Ivy Cares. That benefits the children of students there at Ivy Tech. So here's the forecast today. Morning rain, and then we're going to have some night flurries. Some of those flurries could be floating around early Thursday. I don't think that'll be an impact for us. It's just going to be cold. Windy today. Some of the wind gusts could be over 30 miles per hour at times, and especially as that cold front blows through midday, early afternoon. And then we've got that snow chance for tomorrow night into early Thursday. There could be some impacts from some light accumulations there. That would not last long, though, because the temperatures Friday afternoon look to be in the low 40s, so that should melt off pretty quick. We have another batch of snow with the coldest air of the season so far, with lows in the teens, highs in the 20s for this weekend. And here's a look at that snow map. I put a couple new models here together this morning where you can see that sharp cutoff. So it might be one county gets nothing, and then a county north gets a little bit of accumulation. But it shows it basically kind of along that line from Paoli to Lexington, Paoli, Indiana to Lexington, Kentucky, and then north. On the left is the GFS weather model. On the right is the European weather model. Both of them in very good agreement on the potential of some snow accumulations in this Clipper system that will be coming in from the northwest tomorrow night. So I wanted to give you a shot of that snow potential right off the bat here, because that's what a lot of you probably are coming here to find out more about, of course. And I want to bring up some more resources here for you as well as we continue on. Let me get rid of this and bring up this. And again, momentarily, Brad will be on the show to answer some questions. We got our live program right up here right now. Thanks for liking or subscribing. Even just hitting that like helps spread the word. We got 43 degrees, our current temperatures on here at extolmag.com/weather. Your daily forecast, hourly forecast right here with dropping temperatures later this afternoon to the 30s. My brand new 7-day forecast, which you can click and pop up. I've also got the brand new weather story that features a lot of different weather graphics and just some more detailed information for you right there. If you scroll on down, you've got your interactive map, which shows the rainfall. It shows a future cast, future rainfall, cloud cover, dozens of layers here of weather variables on the right side that it can help you forecast. It's got your temperatures. It's got your wind gusts. Wind gusts would be a good one to take a look at today, as the strongest winds are just out to our west. So some of those stronger winds will be blowing in here later today that you see out there to the west. And we also have this interactive map that also has your current temperatures and, again, the winds and any watches or warnings or alerts and things like that. So, again, just a ton of resources there for free right at your fingertips at extolmag.com/weather. I was just taking a peek at the Trimark. Weren't too many delays out there through Metro Louisville, a little bit here on 265 eastbound, approaching some road work there on the south end of Louisville. But it looks like folks are behaving for the most part with the rainfall out there. A little slowdown as well, 71 south to the Waterston, looking pretty good throughout southern Indiana right now. Here's a live look at our gloomy conditions with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. which you can take a look at anytime at fallsoftheohio.org. So very low clouds. Those clouds are moving pretty quickly. If you notice, there's some strong winds aloft, and it is going to be a bit blustery out there from time to time. As usual, I forget my umbrella every time it rains, but you might want to grab the umbrella just in case. Hey, we want to thank our partners here for helping us do what we do on Ben at 10. So Lions Roofing, they've got you covered on either side of the river with the gusty winds, the rain this time of the year. If you see any leaks, any discoloration in the drywall and the ceiling, any gutter issues, you can get free estimates here at lionsroofingco.com. Go to 812, or you can call 812-294-3595. They've got you covered, literally and figuratively, on both sides of the river. And you can learn more here at their website about their commercial services, residential, financial help, and all about their company. Check out their Facebook page, too, where they've got drone footage and pictures of their recent projects. And we want to give a shout out to, as I mentioned, they've got your Angel Tree program for a couple more days here at the Sellersburg location of Ivy Tech Community College. And they've got dozens and dozens of 2-year certification programs meeting you where you're at. Not only maybe you're at high school or you're getting out of high school, maybe you're middle-aged and you want a career transition, meeting you there where you're at, but also making it accessible to you financially and also timely. They've got these sessions throughout the year where you can hop on and register, and you can learn more with Tuesdays at the Tech and get one-on-one help there with a faculty member. A shout out to my buddy Michael Long as well, my insurance agent, my mom's insurance agent. There's a lot of different ways you can save here. You can bundle things up. You can use their app. You can get student discounts. If you want to get a quote and see if you can get a price reduction in your bill, tell them I sent you for a quote, 812-578-3072, or you can search Michael Long at amfam.com. Again, all right, guys, let's get to that forecast here. And as I was mentioning, we've got that snow potential that many of us are curious about. Speaking of which, good morning, buddy. The sniffles have also blown in the Long household. There's some things going around. My buddy last week had the flu, and we're dodging it so far in the Peine household. So we're trying to do our best to dodge that. But get feeling better, guys, there in the Long household. We've got a couple more comments popping in here. Paul Spalding, 45 degrees at IUS. Thank you for that warmest temperature report of the day, as we'll be dropping later on today. We've got Perry Porter popping to the house. Good morning. Thank you. The rain, my truck needed it, and the coffee tastes good. And again, I'm going to be looking for a frowny face coffee mug soon. If any of you guys find one before I do, let me know. ben@extolmag.com/weather is where you can email me, because I would rather, I want to pull out a frowny face on the bad weather days. And we've got Karen Cantrell. Hey there, thanks for watching this morning. And Christian, we'll get to some of your comments here in just a second. No, that would be a late Thursday night, early Friday morning snow that we're talking about here, Christian. And there's that snow we're talking about. I would say generally right now, give or take a county, around Orange County, Indiana, Paoli, down, if you draw a line from Paoli to Lexington, Kentucky north, is where we have some snowfall potential accumulation for early Friday morning. That's where the potential for some slick roads will exist. These are the brand new weather maps from the Euro and the GFS that I plotted here this morning. Here's your countdown. How many days until? 11 days until winter officially begins. So we've had a head start. 15 days until Christmas. Hope you're ready. 88 days until the time change. Just right at 100 days until the spring season begins. Here's your stupid weather jokes of the day. It's so cold jokes, and these are PG, okay? It's so cold, the rock rattling around in your shoe is your toe. It's so cold, you have to open the fridge to heat your house. It's so cold, your false teeth are chattering, but still in the glass. It's so cold, I saw an Amish guy buying an electric blanket. Shout out to my Amish friends out there. All right, here's a look at today's weather history. 1917, Louisville had a cold wave and a blizzard. Record low of -4 on today's date, and a record cold high of just 7 degrees. It was the warmest temperature on this date back in 1917. 1971, severe storms rolled through central Indiana. Monroe County Airport had planes blowing over. So you can get anywhere from severe cold to severe storms this time of the year. In 1995, Buffalo snow squalls had 2 to 4 inches per hour, 39 inches of snow there in Buffalo, setting records. In 2002, this is a weird one. In Corona, Greece, tiny fish were raining down on the town from a water spout incident from Lake Durrani or something like that. All right, here's your forecast today. Morning rain and then some spotty sprinkles later this afternoon, and then we'll be dropping temperatures to the 30s late afternoon, some flurries later on tonight, and those winds at around 15 to 30 miles per hour. Our low tonight, 28 degrees with some snow flurries, and the winds will be dying down a little bit northwest around 10 to 15. In your forecast tomorrow, some morning flurries, pretty quiet in the afternoon, just cold, a high of just 34. So we're just above freezing tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, we'll have some snow moving into parts of Indiana and areas in northern Kentucky, north of I-64, mostly in Kentucky. Here's the 7-day forecast. So early Friday morning, still might have a little bit of a wintry mix, but hey, any snow we get early Friday won't be an impact for very long as we make it into the lower 40s. And then we're looking at 25 Friday night. A high of just 32 degrees for Saturday. And then another batch of some light snow will be possible in kind of the same areas that we're talking about for tomorrow night, for Saturday night. And then this is the heart of the cold air, 22 for your high Sunday. Look at the low Sunday night down to 10. So very hard freeze out there. Make sure things are winterized around the house. 33 Monday, 44 Tuesday, breaking out and starting to thaw out a bit next Wednesday, 46. But even though we're clawing out of the cold air, notice it only gets us up close to normal. Normal high is 49 for this time of the year. So again, a very early start to our winter season. We've got Tina Sanders popping in our comments. We're about to bring up Brad Weddington. Christian Walker loving the jokes. We've got an LOL from Laura DeVore. Love the jokes here from Beverly Haggis. And we've got a happy rainy Wednesday from Bedford. I'm guessing no walk for Dennis Gregory this morning. Vicky Berger enjoying the jokes. Lillian Lasley as well. All right, let's bring up a jokester here. This is Mr. Brad Weddington. Let me put my earpiece in so I can actually hear you, buddy. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing, my man?
Hiding inside again. It's raining and nasty out there, dude.
I don't know the next time you'll be live outside, but we've got our gear on this morning.
Nice, I like it. I don't really have a big happy, but I have another coffee.
Oh, the Weddington Custom Homes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to you. All right. Let me just so people know, we got that's Brad Weddington. His name right below you there, and you can see more information at the bottom. If you guys have any questions for Brad, anything around the home, let's put them to the test here this morning. But first off, speaking of snow and cold weather, let's take a look at this here. This is a home that you are wrapping up or have finished.
Yeah, they're actually, it's one of them scenarios where they moved in with somebody else while we were building the house. I mean, as soon as the cleaners are walking out of that house, these people are moving in. They're ready.
I would be doing the same thing.
Yes, yes.
So this just is an example of the variety of homes that you are building. I mean, I've seen some mega structures that you've built around the area. This one a little bit smaller, a little simpler, but it also has your unique touches as well. If you look really closely here, guys, what are the posts there, the columns?
Yep. The front porch, front porch post there. So that property was completely wooded, and we obviously had to clear it to put the house on it. And there was a lot of cedar trees that we knocked down. And the homeowner said, "Can I clean those up and incorporate those as the posts on this house?" I said, "Absolutely, man. Have at it." So those front porch columns were actually trees that we knocked down while we were clearing the land to build the house. So it's pretty neat. It's definitely a neat thing there.
Here's a question from Laura. Is that a barnuminium or no?
Nope. It looks, so basically what that is it looks like a barn as far as it's got the metal siding. Now the roof is kind of deceiving right there because there's snow on the roof.
Yeah.
But the roof is actually a shingled roof on that house.
I gotcha.
I tell people, I'm like, if you want to go with that barn dough look, if you're going to put metal on the roof, I highly recommend that you use what's called a standing seam metal roof. That's quite a bit more money than the pole barn metal. So people will end up going towards shingles.
I gotcha. But you got options. And then inside, we've got the same deal that you did in our house like 11 years ago. So I'm glad to see the trend is still going. And our house is not out of style
Oh, not at all, man. Not at all. Yeah.
The beams across the kitchen and the
Yep.
dining room.
So we ran a beam down the center of it, and we had three beams coming up to meet that center beam. Turned out really nice, and kind of what we did on those recessed lights. We didn't know the exact beam placement, so once we got the beams exactly where we wanted to, we cut those lights in so that they're dead center of each one of those squares.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just makes it look a lot nicer.
Thinking ahead there. Very, very nice. All right, and what I in our house, that's where because we live in the woods, that's where the ladybugs like to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like to hide, try to get in the little cracks and crevices.
Yep. All right, here we go. Question number 1 for Brad. And again, please give Brad a question here. And Laura saying, love the ceiling and the beams, from Erica saying she loves that. Awesome. So what's something simple or small that actually makes a huge difference when in the planning stages to build a home?
If you are actually drawing up your plans, one very simple thing, if you're wanting to do a 2-car garage and it's going to be a single overhead door, you see so many times where people do 16-foot wide garage doors by 7 foot tall. That's kind of a standard. I always go 18 by 8 because people's vehicles are getting larger, and on a 16-foot overhead door, you're kind of doing this number to get into that door with your vehicles. Whereas with an 8, just that extra 2 feet, you can pull both vehicles straight in. Not as much a worry of door dinging and stuff like that. That's something that's really, really big that, if you don't do it on a daily basis, you don't go, man, that's going to make my everyday life so much easier.
Simpler, yeah. And I can attest to that because I think we went 18 or 22 feet. I forget the exact dimensions. Maybe the door's 18 and then inside it spreads to 22 feet. And still, it's not quite enough.
Well, you can't build a garage.
It's never going to be big enough.
Yeah. I was touring a house yesterday with a homeowner of mine that it's just in framing stages, and they're wanting to do a pool in the backyard. So we were there with the pool guy. And then once he was done, we were walking the house, and I was like, well, come check out your garage with an attached house. Because I'm telling you, we did the math on this garage. I was like, let's just pull up the square footage, because she said her very first house was 1,200 square feet, and the garage on this house was 1,240 square feet.
Wow. Well, I've seen some of those around. If you got toys, it's definitely something you want to think about. And if you're like me and you've always got a project and your garage is just a little too cluttered, you might want to think about some extra space. So good points there. And then let's bring up our next question. If someone is building their first home, what's the one tip you'd give them right away? We just talked about the bigger garage. Is there anything like, maybe it's not the design, maybe it's financials, maybe it's, hey, we might have to exercise some patience here.
That's the biggest.
It's your counseling process that you go through.
The biggest piece there, Ben, is definitely patience. It's easy for me to preach for people to be patient when I'm an impatient person too. But honestly, on the front end of a home, especially on a custom home, we've got plans involved. We've got a construction loan involved. There's a lot of front end parts to the puzzle that front end legwork oftentimes is quite a bit longer than what people expect. I met with some people yesterday actually, and I said, kind of what's your time span on when you're wanting to build? And they're like, as soon as possible. I said, well, I can probably fit you in mid to late summer. I was like, and I'm going to tell you how that timing is going to probably work, because you've got to get your plans finalized. You've got to go through the banking channels. Mm-hmm. You got a couple months in me, couple months in the banking, a month in me pricing it out. By the time we're all said and done, we're early summer anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I've been through it, and you're wanting to get out of that apartment or whatever, the middle house, we called it, that we were renting. It is hard to be patient, but it pays off for sure.
Yeah, that temporary exile is tough.
It is. All right, we've got Erica saying, love the ceiling and the beams. Laura, I always love beams. Wood and stone combo inside a home and outside is my favorite. And Laura saying that's a good tip. I think referring to the bigger garage.
Well, that's more of a construction thing, but a small thing on any home, Ben, especially with this cold that we've got coming through. Your weather stripping on your doors. I'm gonna always go back and harp on that because that's one of the easiest things that you can do. It requires zero tools. I mean, you literally grab the weather stripping, pull it out, get some new sticks from Home Depot or Lowe's, push them in, cut them to size, and I mean that's where so much of your air leaks.
And I need to do that. So thanks for the reminder. And also, I still need to change the HVAC filter in the upstairs, but I keep forgetting as well. So sometimes just make a list and go back to that. That's what I have to do. I have to make a list.
Well, you can do that, or you can put reminders in your calendar on your phone. It's just, it's just like a car. With a car, you got to get the oil changed every now and again. On your house, you got to stay on top of the filters and things like that. Just general maintenance.
The joys of home ownership for sure. All right, here we go. We got another question. Last question here. Question number 3. What do you think is the most underrated room in the house people should pay more attention to? Because
I would say that almost depends on life stages. Because when my kids were growing up, especially the older they get, the larger their clothes get. I would say the laundry room / mud room is a room that needs more focus because you do spend a tremendous amount of time in there. You just do.
Yeah.
We made ours pretty large where we've kind of got separate area for the lockers and separate area for the washer and dryer. But that's a room that definitely needs emphasis is the utility room. And
yeah, go ahead.
Another big thing is anytime I'm building a house for somebody, they want that walk-in pantry.
Yeah.
You've got one in your home because a lot of your production homes, they don't have a full walk-in pantry and their kitchen cabinets get so cluttered up with everything. There's nowhere to store anything. A nice pantry, a nice mudroom makes a world of difference on your daily use of your home.
Yeah, like you say, you're always in those areas. And I would say the pantry is like the garage. Go just a little bit bigger.
I mean, in our pantry, we've got an extra coffee maker on the shelves. We've got crock pots. I mean, there's just so much storage in there. Right off the kitchen, you can't beat it.
And like you said, at different times of life is kind of what you got to think about because it goes so quick. Sadly, like when we had little kids and we just built our house, they're just into elementary school. We thought we would be spending a bunch of time in the basement watching movies, and it ends up we're just kind of in one space in the upstairs living room. So I think about those things when you're designing a house, and once you're done with the kids, which we're pretty close to that, being an empty nester, you're not going to need all this house.
No.
So you don't need to be a big baller necessarily because you're not going to want to clean all that stuff later on in life. So I know it's hard to think about that far down the road, but if you're a young family, sometimes less is more down the road.
It is, and people like
Brad wants to build the mansion.
No, I don't care. I don't care what the size is. People just like to build these big homes, but like on yours, because we finished that basement room on your house, and I'm sure you put a TV, and that was a living room setup area down there. And I did the same thing on my house. And if you've got a TV and hangout area on the main floor, people just don't go down to the basement.
Yeah,
they don't as much as you thought they probably would. And at the end of the day, it's kind of a blessing that your kids actually want to hang out around you.
It is until they don't. Then they did use the basement more than the family themselves. But I've got a couple comments popping in here. Laura DeVore, my front door is so bad. We need the weather stripping replaced. So good reminder there from Brad for Laura and myself. Michael Long, thanks for the tips. I need to switch my HVAC filter and redo the weather stripping. Hey, we're just reminding people that they need to do some stuff, including myself.
Well, Eric, when you don't do it every day, Ben, you don't think about it.
That's the service we're providing here. Just friendly reminders. Erica, yes, I need to get a new filter too, and have my husband check the weather stripping. My mom just did it as well, and she's more proactive than I am. And if some of my doors, if you don't lock it, you can see the little light through it, like the lock holds it or shuts it even tighter. So obviously, if there's a little bit of light showing, I probably need to check the weather stripping, and also I still need to do some caulking around some stuff. All right, Erica, a pantry is a must for us. Last 2 houses had them. Yes, indeed. And Laura would love a walk-in pantry, but not happening with a ranch house built in 1965. I use a dining room closet with shelves instead. Hey, that works as well. Carol Payne, good morning, Ben, reminds me to change the filter. We've got a lot of filters out there that need to be changed. We got a question here. All right. Boyd Whitlow's putting Brad to the test. What do you do if you get cedar posts in the ground for a pole barn as far as any bug or termites? If there's any around the cedar, is one of the, I'm trying to figure the best if you're going to put a post in the ground. I know, how long do you think the post will last? Okay, so I think the question here, I don't necessarily just has to be cedar, but any kind of wood in the ground.
No, he's being specific on that because cedar's got those bug inhibitors in them naturally because the oil's in it. So I've never done an actual pole barn building out of raw cedar posts.
Okay.
But what I can say is maybe 10, 11 years ago at my sister's house, we did a swing set out of 100% real cedar. And I do know there was something to do with when we dug the holes for the cedar, we had to pack it back with lime dust instead of concrete. Something about the chemical reaction of concrete versus cedar. So when he's talking about putting the cedar posts in the ground, those are going to last for quite a while. But as far as the concrete around them, I don't know if you can do that. But that's an old thing, like putting cedar posts in the ground. What's the other one? I think it's locust, maybe. That's naturally bug deterrent and it's going to last a long time. I'm always going to recommend you put treated posts in the ground, but cedar is going to be one of your best bets as far as a natural lumber that's not treated.
Interesting. I did not know that. All right. Let me see if we got any more questions here for you. Love the interaction. Thanks for dropping in the questions for Brad, local home builder here. Beverly's got a very helpful son that changed the filter. Filter's a big topic here this morning.
Well, it is, but it's such an easy thing to do, but I overlook it sometimes. I mean, and I build these houses. You know, the other day I was like, daggone it, I was at Home Depot. I was like, what's the size of those again?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Michael Long here. This is funny. We on purpose put an uncomfortable sitting couch for looks to make everyone go to the more comfortable TV room in the basement. That makes sense. Yep.
It does, and that'll work. My last house, I didn't even have a TV in the main living room. I had a picture above the fireplace to force people down to the basement.
Yep. Good planning there. Laura, do you build log cabins, Brad?
No. Funny thing is, I grew up in a log home, but no, we've never. I thought about doing that. It's such a niche market, and the price point, it's up there. It's up there because it is a niche. They're neat. There's definitely a lot of oddities to a log home. Now, what you do see builders do sometimes is they do log sided homes. Mm-hmm. And they make some really neat products now to where even the corners, you can buy corners that are those cross-hatched corners to where you do a log-sided house, but it still looks just like a log cabin and insulated as well as a regular home. And then on the inside of the home, if you want a bunch of wood in there, you can do it. If not, you can just have drywall.
Kind of a hybrid. There's also like kits. Like my dad had a log home for a long time, and I think, it wasn't a kit necessarily, but it was all shipped in, all the logs and everything. To the specific
they're lettered and marked, and it's like putting a Lincoln log set together.
I will say, if you're thinking about a log cabin, there are some things to think about because the staining that you may or may not have to do is quite the chore on a regular basis. The wood-boring bees will attack the house. Wasps, for some reason, love to get all over and inside these log cabins. They're not often as tight as normal houses with airflow. And my neighbor switched from log cabin to hardy board because of all those issues. Just log cabins are awesome. Again, my dad had it, you had it, but there are some things to think about.
Yeah, it seems like you're talking from experience there, Ben.
A little bit. So yeah, all right. Yeah, we got one more. Just a good morning here from Marcelin Wilson. All right, we're wrapping it up with Brad Weddington. Great questions from you guys. Thanks for chiming in. And if you have any more questions for Brad, anything comes up, feel free to email me or Brad. We've got contact information there, ben@extolmag.com. You're going to find a lot of these videos. We like to clip them up and make some reels there. Wednesdays with Weddington on Facebook. Go like his page. You're going to find these videos as well on Weddington Custom Homes Instagram, and you can go to weddingtoncustomhomes.com for more information about Brad's services. Anything else, Brad?
You know, you say I always go back to the weather, but I'm telling you, Ben, this stuff out here, it's so hard for me to be productive. So
it's garbage.
It is. And us builders, we always think summer's going to last forever.
I think
every year this happens.
You guys kind of have a bad deal because you get your quiet months in the winter, and then you guys are busy in the summer. Summer's my favorite season.
Yeah, mine too, but I can't go anywhere in the summer.
I know. So you take your Jamaica vacations in the winter.
Yeah, about this time of year. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We got one last Michael Long here. 100% Ben. We wrapped our cabin to metal exterior. The Amish rolled the metal to give it wood appearance and feel. No more staining or carpenter bees. Interesting. All right. And Michael says, thanks, Brad, for the great information. All right. Thank you, Brad. We'll see you next time, next week, same time, same place.
Yes, sir. I'll see you next week, and stay warm and stay dry.
All right. See you, buddy. Thanks. Or speaking of that, we're going to talk about some cold on the way. So again, thanks to Brad for the good conversation here this morning. And thanks again for your comments. So we'll get to a look at your forecast. If you're just popping on, we're talking about, obviously some rain today, not a big deal, some gusty winds. I think what you're wanting to talk about is the snow potential for tomorrow night and into Friday morning. My son's already on me. Are we going to have school Friday morning? And we might not in some parts of southern Indiana and Kentucky, but there's going to be a sharp cutoff. And let me clean up our weather graphics here and show you what I'm talking about. So here are the latest weather models, the European weather model and the GFS weather model. If you look closely, the left is the GFS, the right is the European weather model. This is a situation where there's going to be haves and have-nots. And this is going to disappoint some people and make some people happy. Some people want the snow. Some people don't want the snow. Some people want to go to school. Some people want to go to work. Some people don't. This is one of those systems that is going to make half the people happy, half the people mad, because there's going to be a cutoff. So it looks like, again, generally speaking, give or take a county or so, from Paoli, Indiana, if you draw a line from there through Louisville to Lexington, and then north is our best chance for some accumulations of maybe around 1 to 4 inches early Friday morning. Some models have this a little farther north. Some have it kind of where it's at right now. There's still going to be some fluctuations. We're going to be fine-tuning this over the next 24 hours, but right now that's kind of the placement of that snowfall. Looks like it could begin around 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Now tonight, don't be fooled. As this front moves through, we're going to have some flurries with this cold air, but I don't think we're going to have any impact from that. As we dry out a little bit later on today, we'll still have some sprinkles out there. Just watch for maybe a couple slick spots on some bridges and overpasses that maybe haven't dried out completely for tomorrow morning. Not a big deal though. Again, tomorrow night after 8, 9 o'clock, starting to see this band of snow move in. We'll see that here with the weather models in just a second as I pull that up. And then we've got another snow chance we'll look at with the weather models into our Saturday night. So a busy winter-like pattern continues here for us. And again, here is a look at the 7-day forecast, and then we'll get to the weather models once again. All right, so tomorrow is going to be a cold one, just above freezing, 34 degrees, night snow into very early Friday morning. But the snow that we do get on the ground early Friday won't last long, as we are going to be seeing temperatures in the low 40s Friday afternoon. So they should melt off pretty quickly. And then we get slapped with some of the coldest air of the season this weekend, down to 25 Friday night, a high of around freezing Saturday. Some more light snow over the same areas that we're talking about for tomorrow night for Saturday night. Not anything big as far as snowfall potential there Saturday night, but cold is the bigger story. 13 the low for Saturday night, and 22 for the high on Sunday, down to 10 Sunday night. And then low 30s Monday, and then starting to fall Tuesday, Wednesday as we head back to the 40s. Looks like some rain chances next Wednesday. There is some data out there in the long range that shows a pretty decent warm up as we get closer to Christmas time. It's been teasing us with that, so we will see if that eventually happens. But showing some 50s and 60s before the month is over. So there's some hope out there. And Lily and Lashley, talking about Brad earlier, built a beautiful house. He built our house, which we love as well. Tina Sanders, good day for some homemade chili. We've been eating on the homemade chili for like 4 days now. We might be at the latter limits of eating on the leftovers here. Christian Walker, try to stay warm. We will. Laura, a bird, just thinking about the cold weather on the way. And a thumbs up for the warmer Christmas potential. We will see if that happens, though. All right, let's take a look at it. Let's get to the weather models and time out the snow on the way. So let's bring this one up and take a look at the rain that we have across the area, and then we'll look at the snow. Here we go. There you can see just kind of the nasty weather that we have across the area. As I mentioned, just kind of garbage weather this morning with the chilly rain and some of the gusty winds that we have around the area. So we're at a 1/4 inch or less of rainfall. This steady batch of rain will move out this afternoon. Then notice to the northwest, we've got some spotty sprinkles here and there. Not a big deal with that. It's going to be breezy behind this front and turning colder. Later today, it's the warmest this morning in the 40s. It'll be in the 30s later today. And as we look off to the north, there's a switch over to some light snow and some flurries up around Chicago. So later tonight, we'll have that chance for some of those flurries moving through. No significant impact from that. But what we have here today as well is a strong area of low pressure here in the Great Lakes. And notice these lines of equal air pressure are very close together. These are called isobars. And when they are packed tight together, it is a guarantee that you're going to have some breezy conditions. Notice out west, these lines are not close together, so the winds are light out in the Great Plains. But we're between high and low pressure, and we've got some gusty winds across the area. So that's kind of the analysis of what's happening right now across the region. Bringing up the current temperatures. And we will definitely see there is plenty more cold that will be heading our direction. We'll wait for this to load for just a second. As it does, cheers to you guys for hanging in here all the way through the weather models. All right. This is showing the live radar as we zoom in here a little bit closer. And the temperatures are just now starting to pop up. So there's where we have some of the steadiest rain along and east of I-65 in Kentucky. Indiana looking a little bit drier now. So we have 40s here ahead of this front. And then notice those colder numbers down to freezing in Chicago. So those chillier numbers are going to be heading our way later on today. Okay, with that said, let's bring up the weather models and look ahead to our snow potential after today's rain. And we will bring up the precipitation type. We'll go ahead and use the NAM 3 kilometer. I'm going to jump ahead to like 10 p.m. tonight. And today is already the 10th of December. Okay, here we go to 10 p.m. tonight. The rain is gone later on this evening. And with the colder temperatures, if you look closely, you can see just a little bit of white. That indicates some snow flurry activity dropping in across the area. And some of those snow flurries could continue off and on through the overnight and into our early tomorrow morning. I'm going to bring up a snapshot here at around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning to start the day. Again, kind of hard to see, but if you can notice here with this northwest flow, there's kind of a fetch off the Great Lakes and or Lake Michigan, and that'll bring us some very light snow showers, some flurries overnight, early tomorrow morning. Again, no significant impact expected from that. Just maybe watch for a few slick spots on some bridges and overpasses. Now, let's jump ahead to tomorrow evening. That's, again, the bigger story, as we'll have a clipper system diving to the southeast into our area. Clipper system, sometimes, they're called Saskatchewan screamers, Manitoba maulers. Clipper systems come in from Canada, Western Canada. Energy drops over our region with the northwest flow in the atmosphere, and this brings us a chance for sometimes a wintry mix, sometimes some snowfall, but there you can see that snow dropping in tomorrow night. Let's go to 1 a.m. into early Friday morning. So we're talking late Thursday night into Friday morning. And there you can see that snow. So again, so here is Orange County, right? So I've been talking about Paoli and then dropping down to Lexington, and then north is the best chance for some of this accumulating snow. So if we look a little closer here to those areas, we are talking about parts of southern Indiana, up Highway 150, Salem, Bedford, Seymour, Crothersville, Austin, Scottsburg, Madison, North Vernon, DuPont, Clark County, Floyd County, maybe even Harrison County. The potential for some accumulating snow here early Friday morning. And then looking at areas north of I-64 in Kentucky, that would include Bedford, Kentucky, and perhaps Henry County, Oldham County, Trimble County, and Carroll County, Kentucky, and up towards Cincinnati. So 71 northeast of Louisville could have some of this light accumulating snow, north of 64 in Kentucky, and then up I-65. And so this is the best area for that snow potential. Now, south, you're going to run out of cold air, and it might just be kind of a rain or maybe a little sleet south and southwest of Louisville. So there's going to be a sharp cutoff with the snowfall accumulation potential during the overnight and into early Friday morning. Going into our Friday the 12th at 7 a.m., this system's it's going to be a quick hitting batch of snow. Notice it's already starting to move off to the east by sunrise Friday morning. But that same general area looks like it's the best potential for snow. Again, kind of a line from Paoli to Lexington north is what we're talking about. So that is one weather model. I'm going to bring up the HRRR high resolution weather model and take us back to around midnight, so late tomorrow night into early Friday morning. This has some of that snow setting up a little farther north. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing, maybe kind of a 30-mile difference north and south. So this is why we're going to have to fine tune that forecast a bit over the next 24 hours. If this system tracks a little farther north, there's going to be less snow accumulation potential. If we get a little more south solution, we're going to get a little better chance of some snowfall accumulation potential. That would be the lightest potential. Now, GFS weather model. Let me go. So this is now. Let me go up here to, again, around 1 a.m. into the very early morning hours of Friday morning. This here is the GFS weather model. It's the more southern solution, notice here, with some snow potential over our area, including Louisville. As we go into here, and this is very similar to the European weather model, by the way. And then there you can see at 7 a.m., that snow kind of winding down. So the time period is all kind of the same, after 8, 9, 10 o'clock. So late night hours tomorrow night into the very early hours Friday before sunrise, overnight snow potential. Now, if you're hearing me and you're in Elizabethtown, you're probably not going to get any snow. So south of Louisville, snow chances are very, very low. Again, it's going to be that line from around Paoli. I would say, Highway 150 to 64 and north is our best potential. So that's the story right now, and we'll see what happens with this. We can bring up the snowfall accumulation potential as that moves off to the east Friday morning. And this is showing some 2-inch amounts for much of southern Indiana and northern Kentucky. So there you go. And 2 inches is give or take. As we've seen with every system that we've ever have had, there's going to be a range. So anywhere from probably around 1 to 3 inches. A lot of clipper systems are going to, when you hear clipper, Generally think 1 to 3 inches. Just a rule of thumb with a clipper system. They are in and out pretty quickly. And again, Friday afternoon, it looks like some lower 40s. So even if we get this impact, we get maybe a school delay or school closing, it's going to melt off pretty quickly. And it will be a short-lived road impact Friday morning for the areas that do see some of that snowfall for early Friday morning. Not a huge deal, but could be impactful for a little period of time, a little window there early Friday for those areas that see that snow potential. All right, let's go to Saturday night. Let's see what's happening with that. So Saturday is the 13th. And we'll go to Saturday at 7 p.m. And this shows a little light batch, lighter than the Thursday night batch, but it's got a little bit of a batch of some light snow. Something to keep an eye on. Another little clipper system trying to scoot through the area. Again, you see that white shading that indicates some light snow in this pretty much the same area that has snow potential for tomorrow night as well. So there we go. Now, one last thing I'll take a look at. Since we'll take a look at, we're going to slide into this segment. Just because the Ben on a limb segment, just because I want to see after this severe cold this weekend, is there a decent warm up to look forward to down the road? Before that happens, here is this weekend, my friends. Cold air dropping down. Look at that. Source of the cold air is extreme cold, way below zero in the northern Midwest. Thankfully, we're just on the fringe of the polar air, so it's not quite as bad. Upper 20s, low 30s here for Saturday afternoon. Jumping ahead here to 7 a.m. Sunday morning temperatures showing some single digits to teens. Teens in Kentucky, single digits in Indiana, and then they've got below zero temperatures up in Illinois. There's your burr, the coldest of the season so far, Sunday morning. Into Sunday afternoon, this here is a look at the high temperatures. I don't think it'll be quite that cold. I'm going low 20s for highs, but that is the heart of the cold air for us on Sunday, our coldest day of the season so far. And then we'll gradually pull out of that cold blast as we head towards the middle of next week. So, all right, so that's the coldest of the season so far, but let's see if this will retreat as maybe we head towards Christmas week. I'm going to jump ahead to like the 20th because it's kind of a slow climb out of the cold air next week. So let me go here to 4 p.m. on the 20th. Starting to look a little bit milder here, showing some 40s, maybe some 50s there on the 20th. I have no idea what day the 20th is. That is a Saturday, the 20th. Okay. Saturday before Christmas time. Let's go to the 21st afternoon and see if we can start to pull in some of that warmer air. All right. It's showing that the warmer air is starting to win out. Look at those 80s and 70s off to our southwest. And then it's got 50s here for the 21st. That's a Sunday. Going into Monday of Christmas week, the 22nd, there would be our warmest potential here. Showing some 60s. Not out of the question. I mean, I've golfed around Christmas week before with 60s. Definitely can happen. The only issue here is typically you're going to pay for it if you get into the 60s in the form of maybe some storms or just another cold blast right behind that, because you get a warm up from a low pressure system pulling in the air from the south, but that situation doesn't last long, as right on the backside of low pressure, you've got the cold air coming in. So I'm going to go to the 23rd. There's a cold front moving through. The really heart of the cold air stays northwest. Going to the 24th here, Christmas Eve. It shows warm air south, cold air north. We are in the middle ground, kind of normal temperatures. And then going into Christmas Day. That is a crazy solution right there. This is why it's been on a limb. I mean, look at this contrast here. I'm going to Look at this. All right, so negative numbers to our northwest, 60s over our area. So this means if this happens, this is a more dynamic weather pattern. So this would be maybe stormier. Obviously, if you're in the 60s, you're talking wet. But look at the difference in temperatures, the sharp drop off, 60s ahead of a front. This situation can happen. And then a few hundred miles west, you're down to the teens. 60, 70 degree drop off ahead of the front and behind the front. That would be a wild situation there. This is Christmas Day. But again, we are way out on the weather model limb, so to speak. Big question marks if that will happen. Could be interesting though. Could be a roller coaster ride right around Christmas week. And we've seen the long range happen like this before. At least the general weather pattern change. And there you go. When you've got a strong difference in temperatures here, you've got the potential for at least rain or storm, strong jet stream, strong winds, all that fun stuff. Is there any cape to work with? There is some energy for storms. That's what you got to watch out for. Again, another rule of thumb, if you make it into the 60s, December, January, February, there's usually a price to pay in some form there. So, okay. Just looking at some of the comments that have been popping in here since we've been talking about all this fun stuff. Okay, so that, since we're done with the long range, that has been on a limb. All right, we've got Laura saying, LOL, what a change. And Christian is a warm weather lover, so not looking forward to that cold air. We've got, let's see here. Laura said, yeah, so out on the southwest side of Jefferson County, right on the line as far as that snow potential early Friday. I would bet that you don't see a whole lot right there. And Vicki saying, my brother lives in the Washington, Orange County line north of Livonia, so is he going to see the most snow? I'd say on that line, there is, a chance of a couple inches of snow. So Valley Station, right on the line, I would say it would be very light at this time on that edge. And that is where the cutoff could be, where you go from snow to rain and light accumulation to nothing. Vicky's got a big yuck. A yuck from Christian Walker. We got a yay from Laura. And a wow. We got another yuck. That's why we need a frowny face coffee cup. All right. Colleen Schaller, you're right. It won't be the first time it's been warm on Christmas time. There is kind of a trend, I feel like, where you get like a New Year's warm up. We've had a lot of Christmas week, early January 60s for sure. Orlean, you have a great afternoon as well. Thanks for popping in. And Michael Long's cool with golfing on Christmas. My son Brady and I did some golfing yesterday, but indoors with the simulator. At least we got that option this day and age. All right, let's bring up a recap of the forecast. Speaking, by the way, of that commenter right there, Michael Long, if you want to get a quote on your insurance, proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer experience, just head to amfam.com, search Michael Long. You got life insurance, you got car insurance, home insurance, other things you can insure. You can bundle it up. You can save in different ways. Use the AmFam app, student discounts. He can coach you through it. If you want to get a quote, tell him I sent you 812-578-3072. And bringing up the forecast here again, morning rain, some night flurries tonight. So we shouldn't see any significant impact for early next week. Windy, 30+ mile per hour wind gusts at times today. Snow that we tracked late Thursday night to early Friday morning. Some light snowfall accumulation possible. We had some light snow potential late Saturday. This is some of the latest data showing maybe around 2 inches of snow in some areas from that Paoli to Lexington North line. And then the countdown continues. 11 days until winter begins, 15 days until Christmas, 88 days until the time change, 100 days until spring. Here's your stupid weather jokes. I saw an Amish guy buying an electric blanket. It's so cold. Your false teeth are chattering, but still in the glass. It's so cold, you have to open the fridge to heat your house. And it's so cold, the rock rattling around in your shoe is your toe. Your toe fell off because it was so cold. It is going to be that cold this weekend, so be careful with that. Today's weather history, we had a doozy back in 1917, record low of -4, a record cold high of 7, and a blizzard. In 1971, flipped the last two numbers. Severe storms rolled through central Indiana. Monroe County Airport had some airplanes blown over. And record snow in Buffalo, 1995, and fish falling from the sky from a water spout in Greece in 2002. Our forecast today, 40s this morning, dropping to the 30s later on today. Some light rain sprinkles at time this afternoon, again turning to some flurries tonight, low of 28 degrees. Your 7-day forecast, we've got upper 20s out the door tomorrow morning, maybe a few flurries floating around. 34 tomorrow afternoon, and then late night snow tomorrow night. Average high is 48. We have had a way below normal month so far, and our temperatures continue to run below normal for the most part. Again, if we get that little accumulation over parts of the area early Friday, should not be a very prolonged impact with 43 Friday, so melting there. Then down to 25 Friday night as the cold air moves in stages. 32 your high Saturday, down to 22 Sunday with lows in the teens, maybe even some single digits Sunday night. And then we claw back out and thaw out next Tuesday and Wednesday. All right. I also want to thank, before we get out of here, is Lions Roofing and Brad Weddington as well for answering our questions earlier. If you missed it, we had a long conversation about all different kinds of stuff around the home. And as always, next Wednesday, we'll have Wednesdays with Weddington, and you can give us your questions. You can email me, ben@extolmag.com. Lions Roofing, Lyons, right out of Memphis, Indiana, southern Indiana, but they got you covered on both sides of the river. You can give them a call. If you have any issues with your roof, you can get some issues even without severe weather. You get 30-plus mile-an-hour winds. You get rain. We've had it before. We're flashing around the chimney. You can get some sneaky little rain that kind of come in. So if you see any water spots, you may want to get it checked out. You can get some free estimates here online, lionsroofingco.com, 812-294-3595. Also want to thank our friends here at Ivy Tech Community College. They have their Angel Tree program continuing for a couple more days. That is where you can pick up this tag right here, and you can help out a child of a student at Ivy Tech. And then you buy those items for that child. It has the age and their sizes and what they might need. And then you can take that to Ivy Cares there in Fowl Hall, PFAU. It's right when you drive into Ivy Tech, Sellersburg, and you can drop off those items during this giving season. A great way to help out right there. All righty. Wrap it up. A Ben at 10 here this morning. Oh, one more reminder here before you completely get out of here is if you want to connect with us and maybe be part of our advertising marketing solution, see your brand's logo on our content, our products. 2 million views here over the last 28 days. We've been rocking and rolling here. And again, you can contact me if you want to talk more about it, ben@extolmag.com or jason@extolmag.com. NWSB has their food drive continuing for Reach program for kids. You can help out by delivering canned food, non-perishable items, snacks, dry cereals, even a little bit helps. Any NWSB branch until December 15th. Again, we'll help out those folks. You can get a ton of information anytime you would like. We've got it set up for you here at extolmag.com/weather. We've got our live show up right now. There's interactive maps, have dozens of weather layers here. Play around with it. If you have any questions about how to use any of the products here, again, feel free to email me. Get your hourly forecast, daily forecast, the brand new 7-day forecast, the weather story that I posted this morning with the snow map that you can see right there. Other weather maps that might have alerts that pop up, like this is the National Weather Service alerts. And that we may end up getting a winter weather advisory for parts of the area tomorrow for that snow potential tomorrow night. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that. Here's a look at the interactive map. It shows not only the rain, but also wind gusts might be something you want to check out here. Very windy just out to the west as this front is about to move through our area this afternoon, bringing in the colder temperatures, which shows down to 30 in Milwaukee. We're 41 in Louisville right now. And another interactive map right below that shows the temperatures, the winds. If we get any watches or alerts or anything like that, they will pop up as well. Right now, there's just a special weather statement that is talking about the wind gusts that we'll have across the area for today. So again, just want to mention some weather tools. If you've enjoyed the content here today, thanks for hitting the like button. That helps it spread. You've got more power than you know just by watching and commenting here. So we appreciate that. Vicky said, I'm going with the Christian to Naples, Florida for spring break. That would be very nice. Very, very nice. Lillian, you have a great day as well. Christian Walker saying bye-bye to Vicky and myself. Have a good day. Stay warm. You stay warm, Christian. Vicky Berger, have a wonderful day, everybody. And a little bit of snow could stick early Friday morning. Yes, might be south of you, though. It'll be close for you there. Again, we'll take another look at that on tomorrow's show. So tomorrow will be a big one as we fine-tune that accumulation snow potential on our December 11th, our Thursday, our Friday Eve. We will see you there, same time, same place tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you later.